Let's take a look at the Martin Exteriors roof cam, seeing that cloud cover, things still looking pretty clear. That's going to change closer we get to the 11 o'clock noon hour. DJ Baker and all of our weather teams can have you covered throughout the rest of the day as we continue on. But right now we are talking finances with Klaus Financial. Kyle joining us this morning. Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely. And this is a big time of year that people need to be kind of freshening things up when it comes to finances. I'm sure lots of folks have been calling you very concerned with what's been going on in the markets, but nothing they should be concerned about right now, correct?
That's right. Okay. Yeah, it's been a volatile couple months here, or a couple weeks here for sure. So when you go through these times, the best thing to do is just kind of take a breath. It's going to be okay. You're not taking your money out of your investments tomorrow, so it's okay to let it ride. And unfortunately, the stock market doesn't just go up and to the right. You have some volatility along the way too, so they need to be aware of that. But again, over time, you should make interest on your investments, which is what we're shooting for. And this is a good time of year too. You know, we're still early in the year. Maybe people got raises or promotions at the beginning of the year, so this is a good time to kind of reevaluate just where you're at as far as cash flow and what things look like. And also maybe you've switched jobs and you need to, you know, have an old 401k outstanding or something like that we need to look at consolidating and simplifying things for you too. Kind
of those loose ends you don't think about, but are really easy to sit down and talk with and get that plan together. And that's where you guys come in.
Yep, absolutely. So it's hard to, you know, we have people that come in towards the end of their career and like, hey, I'm retiring in 6 months. It's like, well, I hope you did all you were supposed to do over the years, because now we don't have a lot of time to adjust. So it's much better to do these types of things, you know, earlier on. So that way, if you need to make adjustments, you have more time to do that, obviously, and know exactly what you're working towards.
What are some of the best ways that people can do just that, staying on top of their cash flow, staying on top of these type of plans?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, the budgeting is kind of a bad word out there. People don't necessarily like to hear that.
Hey, I love a good budget. I love it.
Yeah, but really it is. You have to know what's coming in versus what's going out. And again, it's setting up that plan so that you know what you're working towards. And you know, you want to pay yourself first, generally speaking. You want to save, at least get your company match and those types of things. And like I said, especially if you switch jobs, maybe you have an old 401k out there or something like that, just kind of cleaning things up. And also, you know, nobody enjoys doing these types of things, but it's a good time of year to look at your cable subscriptions and all the things that you pay for on a monthly basis. Maybe you have some overlap, or maybe those are some things that you're not quite using as much, and you can free up a couple bucks a month doing those types of things.
Hey, that's a really good idea. An easy way to clean up kind of that digital clutter everyone talks about, and that kind of goes into it, the 401k. It's something that you get constantly, I'm sure, email reminders about, and you just keep putting it off. But that's where you can come in and people can get somewhat organized, and you can kind of finish the job for them of breaking it down, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very important to at least meet with a professional. You know, our firm especially, we have a free introductory phone call. So sometimes you just need a 20-minute check-in with a professional. Like, hey, this is what I think I should be doing, but this is what can you see from the outside? We've helped so many people get to retirement and what that looks like, that they just need an outsider's perspective and a professional's perspective.
That is a good point. The goal is to get to that retirement, to be comfortable, to look ahead. What are some of those things people should be doing now to ultimately get there, whether that's 10 years down the road, 5, 20, whatever it might be?
Yep, absolutely. It's all one big plan, like we said. You know, you have to have your cash flow in line, but then when it comes to investing in your 401k, it's easy to just do a little bit at a time, right? Most people will get a raise every single year. Well, just increase your 401k contribution percentage by 1 or 2%. Because if you think, okay, I get a 3% raise, well, if you put 1 or 2% more in the 401k, you won't even feel it on your month-to-month budget, because you're going to be in the same ballpark. So it's definitely that. And then checking your investments to make sure that they're where they should be. 401ks have a lot of great plans to them. And sometimes it's just don't hurt yourself. So use those target date funds where you pick out the year about when you want to retire and just throw it in that. That's a very easy kind of fail-safe way that you're not going to hurt yourself doing something like that.
And incredibly smart, kind of working backwards from where your goal is. Sometimes I feel like people are just playing catch up. Do you see that quite a bit?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, unfortunately, when you see the stats of how much people, you know, Americans have put away for retirement and this kind of stuff at these different ages, and sometimes it's really disheartening that they're in their 50s and, you know, hopefully you've got 10 or 15 years of good health to continue working, but sometimes that's not the case. So if you're waiting until later in your career to start really saving money, sometimes it's not going to work out, and you need to be more proactive because having time on your side is the best thing for it, especially with investing. You know, you got compounding interest, you've got a lot of years for it to grow. That's kind of what you want to do versus trying to catch up at the end. The numbers are really hard to make that work if you wait too long.
Yeah, and especially when you really start looking at it, some people can kind of get a little panicked. They start to think, oh no, what have I done? What do I need to do? And they can call you guys, go to the website. Best way to get in contact with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have our website, klausfinancial.com, or you can obviously give us a a phone call at 815-877-8440. We'll be happy to talk with you. Like I said, our first meeting is always introductory, and like I said, just get an outsider's opinion and just check in and see if you're on the right track. So
that's a great way to go about it. I definitely need to do that mid-year refresh myself. So once again, all the information there for you on the screen. If you're thinking, I gotta look at my retirement, maybe you have that big check you got from your tax return and you don't know what to do with it. They can help you kind of sort through, give you some advice, talk to you, and see what might work out best for you. There's your information on the screen one more time. Phone number is 877-8440. It's hard to see this time of year with allergies. I got itchy eyes. Go to their website as well. Get all the information there too. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Kyle. We appreciate your time, and make sure you are getting your finances in line. That's the moral of the story at the end of this.
It is. Yep. Good time to check in on stuff.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Thanks for being here. We'll be right back after the break.